It's time! And now, introducing your host, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Boston, Massachusetts, presenting live
the Bostonian versus the Book. Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
Here he is, Matt Perron!
Enjoy the show, enjoy the show, enjoy the show, enjoy the show.
What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Friday episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. It is a BetCris Arizona Friday for us here. My name is Matt Peralta. We are live on our YouTube and X. It's the same handle, at Boston versus the Book. Replayed on Sports Grid Television. More on them here in just 1 second. And audio podcasts, wherever you guys get your audio podcasts. We are absolutely loaded today. Opening line on the AFC and NFC Championship games. I will give you my final thoughts on both games happening on Sunday. We have UFC 324 tomorrow night here in Las Vegas. It is the return of the UFC. You just heard Bruce Buffer. You're going to hear him live on Paramount Plus for the first time. This is going to be a banger of a card. We've got Adam Bjorn coming on in 10 minutes. Where in the world will he be? I have no idea. He'll join us to talk about both games, UFC 324, and a litany other things to get into with Adam. Then we'll go to Boston. Fitzy, afternoon drive, WEEI in Boston. We'll stop by. We'll get his take on the Patriots and the Broncos and the history between these two franchises and why Patriot fans are so nervous about this game, because Mile High has been an absolute house of horrors for Patriot fans here today. We'll jump down the rabbit hole with a bunch of prop bets, things to look at from a betting perspective for both the AFC and NFC Championship games. And we are in the starting block for what is going to be an absolutely crazy couple of weeks for me as we go here today on Friday. I am hosting on Sports Grid tonight. If you're watching live, I'm hosting the Game Time Decisions program from 6 to 8 Eastern time on Sports Grid. They've got me hosting that tonight on a Friday night. It's a throwback to when I used to do that stuff with Dave. So we're doing it Friday night, filling in. They need to go to the bullpen. So they're pulling me out, pulling me back. I haven't worked on Sports Grid other than BVB in a while. So we've got that tonight. And then we've got UFC 324. We have the AFC and NFC Championship games on Sunday. Wednesday, I go to New Orleans. I come back on Saturday. Wednesday, the following week, I go to San Francisco for the Super Bowl, as we'll go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in San Francisco for BVB. So there's just a lot about to happen over the next couple of weeks. Really excited. Thank you for being here. We got a lot of stuff to get to. Let's get into it and start it off with the opening line. Opening line, let's talk about it. It is time for the NFC and AFC Championship games. Bets to make here on the side and the total. Let's begin with the AFC and we'll get to the NFC. Look, I've gone back and forth on this for a ways. I do believe that 5 is too heavy of a number. I do think the Patriots are going to win this game by 3 points. I think Patriots win, Denver covers is how I'm going to be playing this, how I think it's going to come out. I do have a Patriots future, so I am betting Denver money line as a hedge on the Patriots future. But what do I think happens? I think the Patriots are just going to find a way to make more plays. I don't believe that Jared Stidham is going to play poorly. I actually think the opposite. I think he's going to play quite well. I just don't think the Patriots defense is getting the respect that it deserves. In fact, if you look at the numbers over the last 2 months of the season, the Patriots defense has been better when healthy than the Broncos. In the playoffs, the Patriots defense has been better than the Broncos. I think the best unit on the field coming up on Sunday will be the Patriot defense. That's why I think the under is a good look. Okay, I don't think this is going to be a higher scoring game, even though there are some numbers that would lead you to believe that the Patriots may go out there and score 30 points. The Patriots are a better team on the road for whatever reason. They are a better football team when they play away from Foxborough. The weather is going to be pretty much perfect. This is a hostile environment that none of these kids know anything about. Nobody was alive for John Elway. No one was alive for the Patriots in 2015 when they lost the AFC Championship game and Tom Brady, some horrible plays for the Patriots. There's all sorts of history between Denver and New England. Yet these kids don't know any better. Drake May doesn't know any better. And while Patrick Surtain has been tremendous taking away one half of the field, the Broncos have had trouble on the other side. The pass rush is going to be the key. That is why Denver is so difficult, because they can pressure the quarterback, and the Patriots' offensive line has been not good over the first 2 games of the postseason. But if Drake May can get the football out, if the Patriots can withhold turning the football over, I think they win. If they turn the football over, they lose. If the Patriots lose the turnover battle, that is how you allow Jarrett Stidham to make his first start in over 3 years to win the game. But I do think Jarrett Stidham is going to make mistakes. I do think Jarrett Stidham is probably going to throw 1 or 2 interceptions in this game, because I do think he's going to force the football to Courtland Sutton. I do think he will get nervous. I do think he will get frustrated by the Patriot defense. And I think if they can't run the ball, which nobody has been able to run the ball when they have Robert Spillane and Milton Williams playing together, you're not running up the middle. You're just not. The Patriots are giving up over 140 yards a game when they do not have Milton Williams in the game, healthy, playing. When he is, they're giving up less than 80 yards rushing. Can't run. You make him one-dimensional. You put the game on, Jarrett Stidham's shoulders. I don't think Jarrett Stidham is beating the Patriots defense to get them to the Super Bowl. I think he'll make mistakes. On the flip side, to the NFC Championship game, I'm laying it with Seattle, and I actually have a 14-1 future on Seattle. I have, and I will bet San Francisco. Sorry, we'll bet LA on the money line. I will take the Rams money line simply because it's a good price. So those bets are both hedges. I want Patriots Seahawks. That's what I want. Then if I get that, I don't need to do anything. I just kick back and go, this is awesome. I got 2 futures at double digits, and away we go. But if I look at Seattle and the matchups that they're going to have here against the Rams, I just think this defense is going to be too difficult for the Rams to handle. I think with the way they're playing at home, Mike McDonald being such a better coach away from home, I almost wish this game was in LA, because he's a much better coach. He's 8-1 ATS this year away from home. At home, they've been good, just not as good as they have been. And I think it really comes down, much like the AFC game, it's going to come down to the quarterback play and whether or not Sam Darnold plays the way he played in the first matchup. If the Rams turn the football over a ton and they make Darnold go turn into a pumpkin, that's how they win. That's how the Rams beat the Seahawks. They go on the road and they win the turnover battle. The first game was a dead under. The second game was a dead over. How does this game go? I lean towards the over. I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. I think both offenses are going to be able to move the football, and the weather's not going to be a problem. This is in the west part of the country. All of the weather is on the eastern seaboard. And could you imagine if the Patriots were hosting the AFC Championship game? It would be ridiculous. Or if Philadelphia was hosting the NFC Championship game, I don't know if people could get home with how much snow they're talking about here over the course of Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I mean, we're talking about feet, not like little amounts of snow. We're talking about feet of snow falling in the eastern seaboard. So, I think we're fortunate that both Denver and Seattle are the places where we're going to go and watch these games be played, because it's not nice in Vegas today, but it's nothing like it is in New England, okay? The weather, the frigid temperatures, and then here comes Mother Nature bringing her worst to basically from Texas to Maine. Half of the U.S. population is currently under a winter storm warning. Like, it's ridiculous how much we're dealing with. And I'm going to New Orleans on Wednesday, and I just hope I get out. I just hope I get there, given what the weather might look like. So there's just a lot going in. I hope it's Patriots Seahawks. That's what I think it's going to be. I'm betting it differently because I put myself in a good spot with my futures to sit there and say, all right, Patriots and Seahawks, let's go to the Super Bowl. And it's great. If it's the Rams and the Patriots, I'm good. Denver against Seattle is a rematch of a previous Super Bowl, but it was won by Seattle. But that's two teams west of the Mississippi. Oh boy. I don't know if the NFL wants to deal with that. A West Coast Super Bowl, game in Santa Clara, Bad Bunny controversy with the halftime show, and Denver with a backup quarterback, and Seattle in the Super Bowl. Whew, I'm not saying that's Armageddon, but that's not good news for the NFL. Patriots, Seahawks, Patriots, Rams carries a lot more weight. For 2 weeks, we got to talk for 2 weeks about the game after Sunday. Where is he in the world? I have no idea. Adam Bjorn joining us on BVB. On a BetCris Arizona Friday, I'm wearing the same shirt. Look at us. We're twins. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm sitting here in Miami on a somewhat sunny Friday. Yesterday, I was in Barcelona. Monday, I will be in Manila. So you've caught me in the US, in between the storms and whatnot. I'm heading to Gulfstream tomorrow. I got an invite, or I won an invite into the handicapping tournament. So yes, in Miami for a couple of days, Gulfstream tomorrow, back out Sunday.
My goodness gracious. That's incredible. That is, you're traveling more than me, but I am heading to Miami, just not until early March. I'm heading to Miami. How's the weather that far south? Is it nice?
It was wet. Yesterday I got in, it was wet. I left Barcelona, was wet all week. Stopped in London, wet. Get to Miami, wet. Just hoping it's somewhat dry tomorrow for the races, but yeah, it looks like there's going to be rain all weekend.
How do you have time to handicap a horse race? Like you're all over the place.
Well, there's only 10 tomorrow, so there's 10 races that I have to key into. I've got done a bit of work during the week. I had 9 hours on the London to Miami flight to sort of dig in a bit more. Actually, I'm enjoying the fact that it's rain because it means the turf's going to get cut up, which is going to make it a little more wide open and whatnot. I have found probably half a dozen big price runners, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to launch into those. But just a fun day. Gulfstream, Pegasus, some of the best horses around, and we'll see how it goes.
That's going to be awesome. How long is the flight from Miami to Manila?
I got 6 and something hours to San Francisco, and then I don't know what the next leg is, but I'm not looking forward to it.
10, and that's flying backwards, so you're going back in time for that long.
Correct. So I lose a day, and then coming to San Francisco to catch up with you, I catch a day. So I literally lose the same time as I leave, the same time as I arrive, almost coming back. But yeah, losing a day going the other way.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. We were talking about it all week, about you hopping in on Thursday to co-host us live. I call it Radio Row. People are saying that makes me old, but Media Row, Radio Row, whatever you want to call it, in San Francisco for us coming up with the Super Bowl. Have you gone when it was here? Were you on Media Row when we had it here in Vegas?
I've never been. This is the first time, so definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it depends on the teams, obviously, in terms of the overall media crush as to who gets in, but it's going to be a lot of fun in San Francisco. I've heard it's going to be a zoo. Like, get ready for just be patient is what I've been told. My brother lives in Oakland, and he's like, just be patient. Where you guys are going is complete chaos. So not going to be the most easiest trek for us to get around in San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm sort of prepared for that. I was in New Orleans for Super Bowl week last year, just sort of for the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think, with a couple of my boys. We had a couple of parties to go to. Never been to a Super Bowl before, but I have asked our data partner to try and get me something, so maybe I can extend the hotel room for a couple of nights. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Very, very cool. So we'll get to that a week from this Thursday. Adam Bjorn will be in San Francisco. We'll all co-host. Devin Hester is our first guest that we're in for sure. The kick returner for the Bears. There'll be more that we're going to add to the docket for the show. 10 to 12 Pacific, 1 to 3 Eastern time on Thursday, live from Media Row from the Convention Center in San Francisco. All right, let's get into the AFC Championship game. The Patriots are on the road. They are laying 5 at BetCris Arizona. How much action are you guys seeing on the dog here with Denver being at home?
So this overall is a well-balanced game. However, it did go open 6. It went to 6.5, come down to 5.5. It did see 4.5, and now it's back up at 5. So there is some numbers in there, the middle, that look very, very ugly. But right now it's almost dollar for dollar on the Patriots Broncos. We do have 96% of the master money is on the Broncos, but a lot of that got in early at 6.5. There hasn't been a lot of it since then. But yeah, right now overall the game is super balanced.
What do you think the closing line? What's the number at close on Sunday? What's it going to be?
I think it's around 4.5, 5 is where I feel like the money's sitting in the back and forth and who's on what side and things like that. I mean, much lower, and I'd almost be wanting to lean on the Patriots side because I thought that 6.5 was where it probably should be. But yeah, there it's right now. I think 4.5, 5 is where it'll end up.
Do you think if it goes to 4, do you mean is this like the pros are going to take, or they're going to lay 4, but they're going to take 5? Like, it just feels like there's a big disagreement in the marketplace at the moment about who's going to win this game.
Yeah, I think that if it goes to 4, I've heard there's, chance that some will come back the other way. But that's why I don't see it getting all the way there. It may, if people are looking to sort of balance up some positions, but right now it's super well balanced. And I think we're 5 dog 18, which sort of really 4.5. So I think that's kind of where it ultimately just holds.
So the only real bad result for you guys would be if it landed 5, right?
5 wouldn't be good, but I mean, knock wood, how many games land on 5? But
right,
yeah, 5 right now is no good. 6 isn't great, but you lay those things. That's why on our side we get the juice to balance those numbers out.
Right, but if the Broncos win, good result or bad result?
Broncos outright win right now is a good result. Money line is about 72% of the money is on the Patriots there. I'll say this. There's a lot of money on these games. Like, a lot. Like, usually when we get into some of these, even the previous playoff games on a Thursday, and I don't think our Thursday to Friday makes that much difference, but the next game has a hell of a lot more on it. But these games have a lot of people are interested in these games early in the week.
What about the total? You guys have been creeping up. I've been watching it slowly all week. It's 42, 42.5. Now 43. Anyone taking the under, or is this one-way traffic on the over?
There is money on the under, but we are 68% of the money's on the over. 87% of the master money's on the over. Over started at 39.5, laying a number, 40, 40.5, 41, 41.5. There's a fair chunk at 42 as well, which obviously just quickly jumped to 43 from there. But majority of it is over money.
You mentioned that the NFC game is heavy or more heavy than the AFC. What are they taking? Is it all Seattle at 2.5, or do they think we got the Rams here going up to Seahawk country and getting a win?
Really, really boring again. This is double the volume of the previous game, and it's almost balanced to the penny and on the master chart as well. The action's sort of at the +3, +3.5's been bought up, and then down to 2.5 on the other side is where they're laying the money there. As long as it doesn't land 3, it's be a good result either way, because this has just been juiced out, and there's again a lot of money on this game.
Who do you like, Rams or Seahawks?
I think this one, Seahawks feel like a steal to me. Rams 3 on the roads. They've just got over. I thought the Bears were a great thing last week. Yes, covered, but took it to overtime. This one just feels light to me, and it's almost getting to 2, where we're sort of 2.5, 05, 04 sort of thing. There's only one way I can bet in this game, and that's Seattle.
Yeah, the numbers we talked about all week. Third road game in the postseason, teams are 12-30. When they're dogs in the playoffs, they're 9-28 straight up. That's 24% winning. And then if you go to overtime, it gets even worse. The teams are 0-5 straight up in the postseason coming off of an overtime game. So if you play an overtime game with your third consecutive road game, does it get away from the Rams? Do you like the Seahawks big, or is this going to be sort of a back and forth battle where Seattle wins it late?
I just feel like I've watched more NFL in the last few weeks than I probably have all season because I could just sit down, watch them, trade live, play live. I thought this number was going to be 3.5 or more. I just feel like Seattle's the only side you can be on here. Rams have gotten over the line, yes, but not pretty. Again, supporting the Seattle quarterback and his history and whatnot is like, but just Seattle. It's just feels like the only way you can play on this game for me.
And the total has come down. You are at 47 yesterday. You're at 46.5 now. Seattle in the under. Is that what's getting played?
Again, almost balanced to the dollar. A lot of the action, sort of the under 48, under 47.5. If I click on the Masters, under 47, bit on the over 46.5, but it's balanced. I mean, if you're a bookmaker, you woke up and you went into the games like this, you'd go back to sleep and go, the money's already banked, no sweat and move on. I was utterly surprised when I opened these charts just how well balanced they were. And then again on this one for the total.
All right. So if people are betting early, sometimes there's a trickle-down effect and there's other things that people will wind up betting. So Saturday night, before we get to football, we have the first UFC card on Paramount Plus. It's here in Vegas. We lost the co-main event, which would have been a huge handle fight. But what overall are you seeing? We'll get to the individual fights here in a second, but are you anticipating that there's going to be good action on UFC 324?
From looking at the charts, guaranteed good action. Like some of these fights have already got significant money on them, good two-way action, good engagement. The main card now has really good action, probably end up being a data play for me as I'm going through the card. But across the board, for a Friday where we're at, these cards look full and ripe to go.
Well, we talked to a bookmaker here in Vegas yesterday saying that they're going to need O'Malley and they're going to position themselves to need O'Malley in the co-main event against Song Yadong. Obviously, Sean O'Malley's got a big fan base. A lot of people like him. He's a $2 favorite at BetCris Arizona. What's the action? Have you guys seen any sharp money on Yadong here as the dog?
This one's fairly well balanced, especially on the master chart. They kind of come in low 170s on Yadong. O'Malley, the action was at mid 180s on the minus. But this one's fairly well balanced overall, still slightly to O'Malley, but you get some parlays and whatnot thrown into that mix as well.
How much does that impact when it comes to the overall handle? Like, it just feels like people love to parlay these fights together.
Yeah, and they love parlaying the favorites together. So that's where you just need one or two good dogs to come in, and usually you can have a good night. And I think they generally do. And that's why, for me, for a long time, I've always said, if you're just getting into sports betting and you like MMA and you want to model or you want to really dive into it, it's a great sport to get into. Massive limits. Houses generally do all right out of it, so they're happy to sort of take it on. And the prices are very inefficient. The knowledge behind it, the bookmakers making these things, the prices are very inefficient if you're really doing your homework.
Heavy juice on the over 2.5 rounds for O'Malley and Yadong. Anyone taking shots on the under that this fight will end before people think?
There is some action on it, but it's fairly light overall on the total. It is about 70-75% on the over, which balances out to the prices. But yeah, not a lot of action on the totals on that fight right now.
So we have Paddy Pimblett, who is the guy that O'Malley kind of used to be him. I mean, O'Malley used to talk all the time. Paddy now talks international audience, clearly. Justin Gaethje's got a big fan base in the States, but if he loses this fight, he very well might take the gloves off and retire if he doesn't win this interim lightweight belt here. Heavy favorite on Paddy Pimblett, but a lot of love for Gaethje. You guys seeing dog money, or are they coming in and taking the favorite?
So taking the favorite, 87% of the money's on Paddy. However, 100% of the master money is on the underdog here. Around the plus 195, 200 price. So as I'd said, if I was running this like an NFL card and was releasing data plays, and I'll probably try and do something Saturday evening, we would be on the underdog right now.
So a data play would be on Gaethje.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know what to do with this fight. I mean, it's 2.5 rounds. What's the total fight dollars? Because it feels like people are going to bet the over in this game. It's a 5-round fight, but it feels like Gaethje wants this thing to go into the 4th or 5th rounds.
Yeah, generally the money's on the over here for the total. There's not a lot of money on the total, but we're looking at 98% of the overall money overall. The few bets on the Masters is on the overs as well. So it looks like that's where they're heading.
How much combination betting, parlay betting do you see when there's a big fight card on Saturday night and football games on Sunday? Do you see much Saturday, Sunday tie action together?
No, generally, unless you got, people that are just looking for favorites and looking to add stuff. But at this point in time, I mean, if it was a regular NFL, maybe you'd get a few, big favorites getting added on to add some fat to the parlay. But I don't think anyone's really stretching it out into Sunday's games with the 2 games that are lined up. But there'll be other things. There's Australian Opens going on right now, so we'll see some MMA, Australian Open. There'll be some, people just like to get 1 or 2 of those legs in there extra, which is always the mistake they make. So there will be some cross stuff, but I don't see much into the UFC into the NFL this week. And it'll be interesting now that they've moved to Paramount, and what the viewing ship and whatnot works out to be.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to see a lot of action. I just noticed it in my own content, in my own conversations with my audience. They were not watching UFC. Once they knew that Paramount was coming and they didn't have to pay all that money, the October, November, December, coinciding with the NFL, obviously. But I think people just said, you know what? I'm not paying $80 to watch a fight, knowing that in January, I get to pay $90 a year and I get to watch it all. So I do think people are going to watch on Saturday night. And I do think there's going to be a big betting handle come Saturday for folks that realize, oh, wow, the UFC's back on. I get to bet fights. So, and there's some really good fights down the card as well. Do you have any big liability on any fighters down the card outside of the co-main and the main?
The other one they're coming hard on. Actually, the women's fight's getting really good action. Generally 2-way, slightly more so on the underdog, surprisingly there. Just looking around, what else we got? The Ty Miller one, we're pretty heavy on that one. A big favorite. It'd be nice to take that one down early and get a lead. And then the other one is, and I've got 0 chance of pronouncing these names, but Davison, Figueroa, and Umar, what the hell it is, huge money on that one for as big as favorite as he is. So that should be interesting as well.
So they're taking the Figueroa? They're taking Figueroa in that fight?
No, they're taking the favorite. They're laying the number.
Yeah, they should. Umar's, just call him Umar. It's Nurmagomedov, but just call him Umar. It's easier pronunciation. And so,
but I will say this: I just noticed something on the master chart. Again, looking at this as potential data play, they are betting the dog there at big odds at 9.5 to 1. So who knows?
How about that? And you mentioned with Rose Namajunas against Silva, they're taking Rose. Rose has got about 68% of the money right now. And obviously as a solid underdog, that's some exposure that we have. Okay. And then last question on UFC 324, the Derek Lewis Cortez Acosta fight. I'm assuming people are betting the under because it's Derek Lewis, first round knockout type bets coming in.
No, we're about 87% of the money on the over, 67% of the master money on the over there. Looks like they got prices averaging around the mid 30s. On the over, and then the fight overall is very well balanced with, again, heavy master action on the dog. So it should be interesting, but I'm glad that 1, they're moving to this new platform. 2, hopefully that means the live betting is going to get amped up. This year I really want to lean into the live betting because I think that's great opportunity both as a house and a bettor as well. So
and remember, they're bumping it up an hour early. So people used to get really sleepy and tired on the East Coast when it came to betting. Even on the West Coast, it got really late. We're an hour early now, so that should help people with handle and betting as well. Having a 9 o'clock Eastern time main card start versus a 10 o'clock Eastern time start for these fights. So I think that's going to help the live wagering as well. All right, before I let you go, the World Cup, people are starting to count it down. I know you guys are super excited about it. When do we start seeing people betting? When does the future action start to come in here for the World Cup being based here in America, in North America?
They've been betting it already. There's been dribs and drabs coming in. I mean, the market's been open for, I don't know, probably a year, and then after the draw, slim down to the teams that are in, and then obviously there's still a couple of playoff matches going on, I think in March.
Yep.
But it's starting in dribs and drabs. But yeah, I mean, once you get through football season, quiet February, March Madness, NBA playoffs, it'll start to get little bits and pieces tossed in there. I'm starting to see some, previews come out on some tout sites, and a few different bets getting recommended from a few different places doing sort of anti-post pre-future bets. Books are starting to open up more markets, top goal scorer, country top scorer, some of the group things and things like that. So you'll start getting bits and pieces, but this is the one thing that I think the US sports books really aren't ready for. I've seen one World Cup in this time zone 12 years ago when it was in Brazil. Someone mentioned that FanDuel had said their projections for 2026 would have a 10 to 15% increase in the US market on soccer betting. People bet soccer here. It might be underlying, it might be only every 4 years or things like that, but I've seen numbers at books in the past that really blow people's minds when this comes around. So, I mean, people have been looking at counting down from now. For me, this has been a 4-year countdown. This has been about this year, everything about this year, tech, product. Would have liked to be in a few more states, picking up 3 more with Prime acquisition, but again, 108 Super Bowls in 40 days. Yeah, there'll be some crappy ones with Curacao and Haiti and whatnot, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
It really is. And Fox is already running promos. That's why I asked, because the games they're already starting to get that engine kicked up and starting to roll here. And people are starting to talk about it, going like, oh, that's right. We have the World Cup that's going to be here in the United States. So I think people are already starting to look at the bracket and look at different options and markets. You got a lot of traveling going on. Travel safe. Enjoy the weekend. Best of luck this weekend at the track. Hopefully things go well for you. We'll catch up with you next week. I have no idea where you'll be next week, but thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. All right.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, Matt.
Adam Bjorn joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Great to get him on the program here on a BetCris Arizona Thursday. And like we talked about, or Friday, we will be with Adam. Adam will be with us in 2 weeks from yesterday. We will be in San Francisco, Radio Row, BetCris Arizona Thursday for the Super Bowl, and we got a lot of cool things happening. I mentioned the Devin Hester interview, but there'll be more like that coming up live from Radio Row for the Super Bowl. Earlier today, I had a chance to talk to our one and only, one of the most charismatic and interesting guys in all of the media. He's done our show consistently. I love talking football with him. I love talking Patriots football with him. He is the one and only Fitzy from WEEI. We chatted this morning about what's going to happen for Sunday's AFC Championship game. Time to head on over to Boston and bring in back our guy Fitzy from WEEI in Boston. Fitzy, welcome back to BVB. It is a championship edition. It is a Patriots championship edition for the 16th time. And I actually started laughing yesterday when I saw it on the screen. I'm in physical therapy, and this guy's like yanking on my shoulder, and it says Patriots will make their 16th appearance in the conference championship game. And I went, that is absolutely bonkers to think about. How are you? Welcome to the show. It's Patriots Broncos. Let's go.
You're coming from WBVB, and I'm broadcasting from WLFG, baby, because we are back where we belong. Champ Sunday, not just the name of your friend who graduated from an SEC school. No, it is where we have been running the longest, most obnoxious, garish bar tab in American sports history. 16 championship Sundays, a place that basically Belichick and Brady for the longest time, always had sitting reservations, kind of like they were Frank Sinatra at his favorite steakhouse in Vegas. And the idea that Robert Kraft Sunday has a chance in Denver to raise the 12th Lamar Hunt trophy for the franchise while he's dreading how much it could potentially cost to have to blow up his own end zone and hang a 7th banner and yell aloud into the thin Denver air, "We are all Patriots once again. Jonathan, take this from me. It's heavy." And see, I love, and like, that's just one of the great little elements. But Matt, like, when people say like, "Oh man, this sucks," it's like Jarrett Stidham versus Drake May. It should have been Bo Nix versus Drake May. Like, oh no, hold on. There are so many rich, delicious storylines to get into.
Yeah.
First and foremost, from the Patriots angle, the idea that your sophomore sensation signal caller and the first-year coach, who was a former beloved linebacker of the early part of the double dynastic run, you got Drake May and Mike Vrabel, in order for them to go to a Super Bowl together and complete the greatest worst to first turnaround in NFL history, they have to do something Belichick and Brady never were able to do and win an AFC championship on the road in Denver, which is incredible. And standing in their way is one of the smartest, most arrogant, brilliant people in the NFL and his side project. Because Bo Nix was the main studio album, but Jarrett Stidham is the side project, like the band that he jams with on the side. But he thinks that band can be a headliner. And he is so cocksure that Jarrett Stidham will be able to do everything Bo Nix did and then some. It's amazing. And I admire Sean Payton for it. And then there's that part of me that wonders, like, did Belichick was he so brilliant that 7 years ago he drafted Stidham one day knowing, like, well, when they fire me, I'll make sure that he goes to Denver so that way he gets in the way of Vrabel and May and they don't get back to a Super Bowl without me. Like, this is great. Like, this is in this drunken season that makes absolutely no sense, where parody has run amok like a zombie holocaust. This makes the most sense to have this championship Sunday in the AFC be as wild as it is.
Yeah, you and I are contemporaries, so we know all about the history with the Patriots going to Denver. This is the House of Horrors. This is the trip that nobody wanted to make. I will ask you this question because I, in October, said this could be a problem. Did the Patriots make a mistake by not trying to get the number 1 seed? They won all their games, I get it, but if this game was in Foxborough, would you feel differently about the likelihood of the Patriots winning the game?
Actually, considering that they're road warriors and they're 8-0, even though I can confirm and other people will tell you Foxborough has been the most energetic it's been since probably 2016 or so. Like, it's been lit this season. The fans, the young energy, the youth, everyone that's now following Drake and Lady Bakesmiths and all these new players and we all we need, and the sing-alongs with Bon Jovi, which is kind of like the new Josie. Like, it's awesome. It is a dynamic place to be, to watch games and just take part in the energy and the camaraderie again. But that said, like, no, I wouldn't actually feel better about the game being at home for 2 reasons. One, they are so great on the road. And number 2, with the weather that's going on this weekend, it looks, it's charming from afar when you watch the Weather Channel and whatnot. And it's going to be cold. There could be like flakes or flurries in Denver as well.
Yeah.
But this team doesn't care about where they play. And Mike Vrabel and Drake May have said time and again, like, that's history. Like, we're not married to that. We don't worry about what happened ages ago or what other people couldn't do. We're only in charge of here and now. And that's why Mike Vrabel created a new culture. They don't do the Teddy Bruschi, which became the Matthew Slater, oh yeah, anymore. They do different breakdowns. Like, they got rid of all the captains because he wanted to, get rid of entitlement and create a new culture. No more bleep that gets you beat. They take advantage of bad football and they live their own way. Side note to all of it too, like the storm is going to be so significant in the Northeast, 18 inches bare minimum. I was thinking the other day, I was like, wait a second. So if they're playing in Foxborough, it would look great on TV at first. And, if the Patriots score and win, there'd be snow fireworks, charming, magical, unforgettable imagery. But then after the game, there'll be so much snow on the ground, nobody gets out. So people will be trapped in the parking lots. They'll survive for a night or two on their steak tips and their chicken wings and the sausages from Shaw's. And then they'll just be forced to, like, stay there and eat each other. It would turn into like a cannibal holocaust.
So we're dodging that, at least on that. But
I know, but no, I'm thrilled. I love the idea of, like, no, okay, so we have to beat we got to beat Stidham and Peyton on the road and exorcise a demon that has haunted us from 2013 with no receivers for Brady. 2015, when he gets hit 17 times, still finds Gronk down the seam, but doesn't convert 2 points. Gostkowski misses the extra point. Somehow, Tom Curran's greatest point, he's like, to this day, he's like, more than how did the Patriots lose in 2007? He says his greatest mystery, up there with why didn't Butler play against the Eagles, is how the F did Owen Daniels with noodle arm Peyton Manning shake and bake Jamie Collins for 2 touchdowns in a game where the Patriots should have rolled. And go back to 2005 or January 2006. To this day, Matt, I swear that was a touchback when Ben Watson raced diagonally across that field and knocked Champ Bailey's ass out of the end zone. It was a touchback.
Oh, right. I remember that.
That was Brady's first postseason loss.
Yep. And everybody. And that's, I've been listening to Denver media for the last week, and I think it really is an interesting look. And so for those of you who are geography nuts, the only football team in the Mountain Time Zone is Denver. Mm-hmm. And because of that, they have this like myopic, almost New York City type of media attitude where they think they invented football. Like they think that like they are the ones, like they have run, the Chiefs have been such a difficult thing for them to handle because it knocked them down a peg and they can't actually handle the fact that somebody else is there. But the 6 championships for the Patriots almost don't exist in their mind. Like it didn't happen. You guys never won anything. We're still the ones that won 3 championships. We still are the team of John Elway. We're still the Orange Crush defense. And you guys are just like cute. And we're the ones that really play the real sport. Because I find the attitude, and granted, Patriot fans and Patriot media are arrogant as is, but I am fascinated about.
We've been accused of as much.
Right. But I am fascinated if the Broncos lose this game, what is the spin going to be coming out of Denver about how they lost this game? Because they feel like they're going, and even their head coach said it yesterday, that, rest up for 2 weeks. We'll see you in San Francisco. Are they going to handle it? Like, if the Patriots win, it feels like there's going to be a really big problem in Denver of like, how did this happen?
Yeah, how did we let this, like Adam Shine said on Mad Dog Radio this week, if the Patriots make it to the Super Bowl, we have all collectively failed as a league. Well, no, you haven't. So many different little narratives and falsehoods to break down here. Number one, Aaron Schatz, the guy who basically created DVOA, the original DVOA hole, as I call him. Nice. He tweeted out the other day. He said, people aren't going to want to read this, but the Patriots defense has been better than the Denver Broncos in this new Orange Crush 3.0 for the past 2 months. And you can see it with your eyes, not just don't look at the record, forget the 71 sacks and Allen and, Benito and everyone else. It's an awesome defense, but they haven't been playing as well. And if Josh Allen freaking drops that ball down 4 inches and hits Knox on the hands, they leave last week winners. And now we're talking about that, the snowpocalypse in Foxborough this week between Josh Allen and Waffle House Josh Allen, which is Drake May. But it doesn't happen. So now we get May, Stidham, Peyton versus Vrabel. You've got this war of words going on now between the receivers and the secondary, the offense and the defense between the Patriots and the Broncos, because Kayshon Boutte has said, Denver can get all the rest they'll need when they go to Cancun. And then, you have PS2, Patrick Surtain, being asked yesterday by Denver media, like, Kayshon Boutte said, you guys can get all the rest you need when you go to Cancun after the game Sunday. Do you have any response to that? And all Patrick Surtain said was, who? Like he just as in like Kayshon Boutte, never heard of her. Like it was so there's a lot of animosity between the teams already, again, which is great for all of us. The storylines, we need rivalry in sports again. Side note to that, I kind of love the fact that Ben Johnson is a prick and hates the Packers and hates Matt LaFleur, because I hate A-Rod and Big Poppy hugging at second base, or you know what I mean? Like, no, cut that crap out. I need you guys to be mortal enemies the way that we look at it. But you're asking, like, how will Denver handle it? Well, the thing is, like, if the Patriots lose, this is an epic failure, and all of a sudden this magic carpet ride becomes a massive missed opportunity, because wait a second, you guys blew up the Chargers, you took care of the Texans, you went 14-3, 16-3. You're a 5-point favorite, a mile high in the football sky against a backup who wasn't good enough to stick around your team, and you lost. What a whiff. But for Denver, you have the baked in excuse of, gee whiz, we didn't have our guy. Bo Nix was out. The only way Denver really wears football egg on their face is if Jarrett Stidham puts up 24, but Drake May puts up like 34.
Right. Yeah, right. Which could happen. I mean, I think the game may be a bit higher scoring than people think. And I think the Patriot offense may have a bit more success. I mean, to me, it really comes down to Drake May and his ability to get rid of the football. And I don't know. I mean, the first 2 playoff games, I know it's his first 2 games in the postseason. I know playoff football is different. And I know the Texans defense is incredible, but did you feel like watching the game that Drake regressed a bit in terms of the way he had played all year? He didn't hang on to the football much this season. We always talked about the quick passes, the ability to get the ball out, to find the right guy. He, for whatever reason, was hanging onto the ball more. And that's why everyone's ripping on the offensive line and Will Campbell. But I think some of that comes down on Drake May as well. Would you agree that he has played a bit differently in the postseason than in the regular season?
Yeah, you can't against some of these defenses. Chargers with a top 8 pass rush, the best pass rush with the Texans now, the second best pass rush, or maybe, arguably the best, depending on if you're just going to qualify it by statistics and sacks, in the form of the Broncos. Like, Benito had just as many sacks as Will Anderson. And he's like, Will Anderson is fast and strong, just a unique, unbelievable combination. Whereas Benito is just freaking, like, he's so fast off that edge. And if Will Campbell can't get there on time, Drake May is going to be in big, big trouble, because if he's back there dropping deep, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, that ball, like, it's going to be strip sack city population Drake. Like, he's got to get rid of the ball. But I think, even before you get into that and which way he's going to look, and how's he going to go? Because Riley Moss stinks out loud at cornerback, but Patrick Surtain is the best in the league. So where they're probably going to want to attack. But I don't know if he's going to have enough time to do that. That's why the key to this game, to me, offensively for the Patriots, before Drake can take his big strikes and look deep for Kyle Williams or Kayshon Boutte, you have to just give them a face full of Ramondre. Like, you just got to run at them time and again. You've got to get the ground game. It's so boring. It's so fundamental. It's so basic. But you absolutely have to run at them, hammer them that way, break their will, and then take your shots. If they do that, they'll be okay. If Drake continues holding on to the ball as long as he has, like, Matt, he has 6 fumbles in the postseason.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a season for a quarterback. He has to know his clock. We asked him about it earlier this week on the show, and he knows. And Mike Vrabel, but he's not, doesn't talk about, he's such a competitor. He doesn't talk about it too much. He said he didn't celebrate much at the end of the game because he was still mad at himself for missing Austin Hooper, for what could have been a 4th touchdown pass and a game sealer. Right. But Mike Vrabel, in his WEEI morning recap of the Texans game, mentioned protecting the quarterback and ball security 5 times.
Wow.
So he is, this week, he has been hammering them on get rid of the ball, hold on to it, and at all costs protect the Drake. Yeah,
and again, I watch as much content as anybody, and I thought Julian Edelman's comments about the game against the Texans, making sure every drive ends with a kick, is appropriate for this week. Make sure that every time we're talking about either an extra point or a punt for the Patriots or a field goal for the Patriots in terms of how their drives are ending, because if they're turning the football over, that's how you let Jarrett Stidham beat you, is because you give him a short field, because they aren't going to run on the Patriots. And this is something, back to your point about DVOA and what the Patriots defense has done. This is my favorite stat of the week, is that Christian Gonzalez, Milton Williams, and Robert Spillane are 16-0 when all 3 play for the Patriots. Right. They haven't lost yet when they have their defense, their real defense. They haven't lost yet. So to me, Jarrett Stidham, starting the first time in 3 years, coming in and playing up against this defense, well, you're not running the ball. So now it's all on you. Mm-hmm. And the Patriots made a living last week of jumping the routes that they knew were going to be run by the Texans and CJ Stroud. They weren't afraid of anything in terms of going over the top. Now, Cortland Sutton's a different beast. I like him a lot. He's a big guy, and he's great on the contested catch. Yeah. And he'll run over the middle, but he'll win on the outside. So where are the, if you can't run the ball and you're going to put Christian Gonzalez on Cortland Sutton, I just don't know where Denver really has a chance to exploit this Patriots defense. I have a hard time seeing Denver scoring much unless the Patriots hurt themselves. Is that fair?
Yes. That's a perfect assessment. Like if Drake zips one into the arms of Singleton or Patrick Surtain for a pick six, that's the bleep that's going to get you beat. Yeah. If Benito or Allen comes off the edge, Morgan Moses has had a very good postseason. Obviously, Will Campbell has struggled mightily. Yeah. Then that's the bleep that's going to get you beat. I don't see how. Not only are the Patriots undefeated when you have, and Gonzo only has one loss on his resume this season as well. When Gonzo's playing and Milton Williams play, they're undefeated.
Yep.
The rush yards per game when Milton Williams is on the field is cut in half. Just one guy, just the effect of the Milton Williams effect. He's been so worth every penny of this 4-year, $104 million deal. They give up an average of 76 yards a game on the ground when Milton Williams is in the lineup. When Milton Williams is out, they give up 142 yards on the ground.
Wow. Double.
Yeah. Almost double. So go ahead, bring J.K. Dobbins back in, and you've got Harvey. Dobbins and Harvey. Mornings on the Fan in Denver. Get out of here! Like, come on. No, the Patriots defense really, they're the ones that should be confident this week, more so than the offense. They should not be living in. The only thing they should be afraid of is just any trickerations from Sean Payton, because he has such a good feel for the game, because he seems so confident out of the blue with Stidham, and because he knows when to pull the levers and push the buttons. I mean, one of the 10 greatest play calls in NFL history is opening the second half of the Super Bowl against the Colts with the onside kick.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming.
No, and he's a phenomenal head coach. And look, they're here as the 1 seed for a reason. I mean, Bo Nix is not just the only reason. It's Sean Payton as well, who has this team ready to go. And it's going to be a very hostile environment. But to your point with Ramondre Stevenson, you have to run the football on the road in the postseason. The Patriots have done that. You can't hurt yourself. Patriots haven't done that on the road. And then what about special teams? You mentioned the onside kick, but how do you feel about a rookie kicker in altitude? This comes down to a field goal. How do you feel about the Patriots' chances in Denver kicking at altitude?
Well, obviously you can make bigger kicks in thinner air because the ball travels further. Gostkowski's longest kick in Patriots history was in Mexico City back in 2017. He nailed a 63-yarder before halftime, and it would have been good from 80. And Mexico City is 7,200 feet in the air. So Borregales should, it'll be interesting to see two things in warmups. One, Drake getting a feel for his deep ball, because you can throw the ball further at altitude as well. So, the kid can uncork a bomb easily, right? So he's going to have to get a feel for how much further or faster the ball travels. And two, how Borregales is feeling in the conditions. You can go long with him because the kid has a cannon for a leg. I feel good about it because I think one of the most confidence building sequences for me for this team in the postseason was in the final game, week 18 against the Dolphins. They have a field goal blocked with 2 minutes left. The Dolphins, who are playing for God knows what, I guess to try to keep McDaniel's job, march down the field with Quinn Ewers. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to get to the vape shop quicker. I don't know. But although I do think he's going to be a fun OC for the Chargers.
Yes.
Because working with Najee Harris, Omarion Hampton, and Kamani Vidal, that run game next year with Alt and Rashawn Slater back, you want to talk about move, bitch, get out the way. That's going to be something. But so Miami goes and scores a quick field goal. Patriots get the ball back with like 30 some odd seconds. They drive, and now Borregales attempts, and it was freezing out. It was like 20 something degrees. So he's kicking a cylinder block. They attempt a 59-yarder before the half, and he drilled it with yards to spare. So he can kick in the clutch. He can kick at distance. I have all the faith in the world that if game's on the line and you need him to make a bomb, he can do it.
All right, let me get you out of here on this, because history repeats itself in weird ways. Let's just say the Patriots win. I am not overly confident, but I think the Patriots are in a good position to, I don't know if they cover, but I think that they have a good shot of winning and going to the Super Bowl, which I will be in San Francisco. It would be my 4th Super Bowl, but the first time ever going with the Patriots there. I don't really know how I'm going to handle that, but
I don't remember ordering chowder in a sourdough. What is this? You guys are weird. You got your own.
Good.
You got your own weather system called the Marine Leia.
Yeah, it would be awesome. All the Patriot media coming over and acting like they've all been there the whole time would be amazing. The level of hatred will be something to drink in San Francisco. But what do you make of it if it's the Rams or the Seahawks? Do you have a preference? Because the history with both is so rich. The storylines, I've said this before, if it comes down to a call, the NFL would rather the Patriots be in San Francisco than the Jared Stidham-led Broncos because the storylines are immense. The Patriots are 2-0 against the Rams. Obviously, the dynasty began with the game against the Rams, and then the 13-3 win over Sean McVay. That was one of the best Sundays ever for sports books because everything went under the game, but every prop went under as the Patriots completely
I never even thought of that. That game made Vegas so rich. Holy smokes.
Every under hit, every single under prop bet, the public betting over and everything, nothing hit. Zero props went over.
Yeah, because you have the Patriots versus, at the time, the 11th greatest offense in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
And
all of it.
So do I have a preference between the two?
Rams or Seahawks?
I mean, the Broncos, their only real storyline would be trying to get revenge for that god-awful Super Bowl 48 in New Jersey. against the Seahawks. But Broncos Rams has no juice.
No.
Unless people are just like, I always wanted to see Vince Ferragamo against Craig Morton. That's
a West Coast Super Bowl with two teams west of the Mississippi. If it's Denver and Seattle,
Los Angeles, half of America off, basically.
The East Coast is like yawn, and you have the Bad Bunny controversy. So I'm just playing conspiracy theorist going on this, and I'm like, my God, the NFL is like, please Patriots, please Patriots.
Well, you saw the numbers on ESPN, right? Like the Texans versus Patriots divisional round game is the highest rated program in the history of ESPN. 38 million viewers. That is a massive, massive number. And whether you love them and are fascinated by the new look Patriots and Drake is so lovable and everything else, or you hate them, and we all know you hate us because you ain't us. Any good story needs a villain. So to me, between the two, I would prefer Pats versus Rams because you could say you complete the trilogy and maybe Stafford gets revenge for the two losses for Goff and Kurt Warner, or does Drake May and Mike Vrabel, do they start a new era of winning and a new dynasty is born against the team that the dynasty was born against the first time 20-something years ago? And if everything goes the way we think it's going to go at the NFL honors on that Thursday before the Super Bowl, Stafford wins MVP, Drake comes in second. Sunday, Drake gets a chance to do what has happened so often, like Brady beating Matt Ryan when Matt Ryan wins MVP. I mean, it's just, chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, no notes.
Boy, oh boy. Let's hope it happens. Let's see how it all goes.
Buddy.
Do you have a score prediction?
I do. 30-20 Patriots.
You like the over? I'm coming around on the over. I'm beginning to kind of come back to be like, you know what? Patriots are going to score, and the Broncos defense is going to give up more points than we think against this Patriot offense. I hope you're right. If folks want to get to you, follow you, listen to you, post-game, pre-game, how can they do so?
At Fitzy GFY all across the socials, WEEI afternoons, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday. And Sunday, immediately following the conclusion of the AFC Championship, I'll be live on WEEI and the WEEI Sports Radio Network with the Six Rings postgame show.
Very cool. Your content is tremendous. You have put out a new video. You didn't even mention that. You got to
just go there, find it, and have some fun with it. We our content is by fans for the fans. So always happy to have you.
It's too good. He is Fitzy. Appreciate it, my friend. Enjoy the game Sunday.
Thank you, buddy. Go Pats.
That being the one and only Fitzy joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Great to get him on the program talking Patriots and the Seahawks. We got to move quickly here because there's tons of stuff to get to, and we're running out of time here on the program. Time to head on down the rabbit hole. It's time to head down the rabbit hole, brought to you by our friends at Rabbit, as we say it quickly. If you guys haven't heard of these guys yet, you can download their app, peer-to-peer sports betting. is available on Rabbit, Google Play, and the Apple Play Store. It is the first peer-to-peer sports picking marketplace. They like to think of themselves as Venmo for your sport takes. They allow you to fight with your fans, not with the house. You guys can create offers, set lines, challenge your friends directly. It's social, it's fair, it's a lot of fun. Without heavy vig, it's the only place you can truly make your hunches happen. The house is always designed to beat you. Rabbit is designed to let you get in on all the fun. And when you use the code RABBIT5, you'll get 5 free Rabbit cash at sign up, RABBET 5 at sign up for Rabbit here. The Rabbit down the rabbit hole today, prop bets. 2 of them. The first in the AFC Championship game. I want to take a look at Courtland Sutton, under 45.5 receiving yards. So here's the thing. Christian Gonzalez is going to be on him. And I think the Patriots are going to take him away, and they're going to make somebody else beat them. Who that might be, I'm not sure, but it's going to be somebody else besides Courtland Sutton. You saw the Bills do it. The Bills kept him relatively quiet last week. I think the Patriots equally will shade their safeties over to his side of the field, and you're going to put Christian Gonzalez on him. I don't think he has a big game catching the football. Courtland Sutton under 45.5 receiving yards for the Broncos here, which I think could be a trend for your betting. If you go ahead and jump in, I think your trend betting wise is under 47.5 yards receiving for this. I think there's an opportunity to get involved here under 47.5 with Courtland Sutton. On the other side, Blake Corum to go over 33.5 yards rushing. This is somewhat of a surprising number. If you go back and look at the history, just the general consensus number here for him, he's been a guy that hasn't been, he has had a lot higher numbers rushing wise. He only had 19 yards rushing up against the Bears last week, but that's the weather, right? And obviously they're going to key in on the running game. It was 46.5 was his prop number. He went way under. Against the Carolina Panthers in the first game of the postseason, his number was 44.5. He ran for 45. So we just got over. This number has completely crashed. And I want to actually update this number because now I'm seeing 29.5. That number was last night that I pulled that. This is now 29.5 for Blake Corum. There's big money on the under for Blake Corum, which I'm actually really surprised. I like the over. I think Blake Corum is going to run the football more than people think up against this defense for Seattle. And I know Seattle's defense has been tremendous, but in the first matchup between Seattle, the number was 35.5 for Blake Corum, and he ran for 48 yards against the Seahawks in Seattle. So for me, I want the over. I want Blake Corum to be active. I want Blake Corum to be involved a lot more here. And we're going Blake Corum over 29.5 rushing yards here. So I think there's 2 prop bets that you can look at here. Courtland Sutton under 47.5 in the AFC Championship game, with the Patriots keying in on him and the fact that you have a backup quarterback starting for the Denver Broncos. And we don't know what Jared Stidham is going to be looking for, what he's going to be good at doing. He hasn't played in 3 years. And I think Blake Corum is going to run the ball more than people think for the Rams up against this Seahawks defense. We're going Blake Corum over 29.5 rushing yards coming up here for Sunday. If you guys are watching live on Sports Grid Television, watching on the replay on Sports Grid Television, we're back on Monday for a full recap of everything happening. If you're watching live, don't move. We got more to come. Bonus time starts now. So let's go right into it. And I've got a couple of things to bet on for tonight, tomorrow, and obviously we talked about it in the opening line about what I'm doing for the game itself. I'm hedging like crazy. I do think the Patriots win. I do think Seattle wins. I do think that's going to be your Super Bowl, but let's make some bets. Just the Picks being brought to you by the Betting Pros Prop Bet Cheat Sheet. You guys can download the Betting Pros app or go and search bettingpros.com/props to get the prop bet cheat sheet for all their picks, plays, and projections for the prop bet markets in the NBA and the NFL for coming up this weekend. We've talked about this, and we had on the air a conversation with Brendan Fitzgerald, UFC play-by-play broadcaster, who put us on the Hokit kid, who will fight on the prelim card tomorrow night here in Vegas. So he's fighting a guy that is in his second fight. Hokit is in his third fight in the UFC. Hokett is the dude that, as just I brought up personality, and you heard, and I've been going back and forth with Brendan Fitzgerald. He's been sharing with me some of the content that the guy creates after he wins. He, in the heavyweight division, could be somebody to pay attention to. He does a full-blown rap after he wins. It's pretty interesting. I think he probably wins by a knockout. The kid Freeman that he's fighting takes a lot of contact, gets hit a bit too much for my liking with in a heavyweight division. But also, Hokett can take a guy to the ground. This guy has not been taken down yet. He's got one fight in the UFC. It went all 3 rounds, and there was no submission attempt at all from his opponent. He won it by decision. I think Hokett wins. On the flip side, Butler plays tonight at home against Marquette, who is 0-8 straight up on the road this year. They're awful against the spread. They've only covered in 4 games, so you can lay Butler -7 or 7.5 if you want for tonight at Hinkle Fieldhouse. I think Butler wins the game. It's a -116, -115, depending on the juice, depending on the book type of parlay. But Hokett Saturday night, and tonight Butler to get a win. I think we're going over 2.5 rounds for Pimlet and Gaethje, and I know it's expensive. Okay, I just think if you're looking for some action, I think the only way really to bet this, you heard the professionals are on Justin Gaethje. If you like Gaethje, I think he said it publicly, said it yesterday at the press conference, he's looking to take Paddy Pimlet into deep water. He wants the championship rounds. 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds is when he'll start to go to work. He has to avoid the submission attempts of Paddy in the first 2 rounds. If Gaethje can do that, I think that's when he believes that his cardio and his overall, the ability to strike and accumulate damage to Pimlet will eventually play and earn him the victory. But I think we're going over. I think we're going into the 3rd round here. I think it's over 2.5 rounds, halfway through the 3rd round or more. I know it's expensive. I know it's juicy, but I like this fight to go over 2.5 rounds, leaning to Gaethje, but Pimlet is really good. And if it goes to the cards, I think Paddy wins. If it ends inside the distance, I think Gaethje wins. But I'm going to go ahead and take the over 2.5 rounds for Gaethje and Pimlet in the main event. In the co-main, I think O'Malley by decision. It's a 3-round fight. I just think technically, I think Sean O'Malley is going to keep himself away from Song Yadong's power and not wanting to get clipped and knocked out. And so I don't think this fight's going to be very entertaining. I think this fight's going to be pretty boring. And I think O'Malley just wants a W. Like I don't think O'Malley's going to be willing to get into a firefight. I think he's going to be sort of stepping back. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities here for Song Yadong to push. And if he pushes forward, I think he might get caught and he could get knocked out. So that's my only worry here, that if you see an angry or more frustrated underdog, it's a $2 favorite for a reason. I don't want to lay $2 with O'Malley, but I think you get +1. Circa Sports in Vegas had this at +117 today. So you get a little plus money on O'Malley by decision, but there's so much. It's like -250 to go over 2.5 rounds in a 3-round fight. It's like -240 for the fight to go to the cards to not finish inside the distance. So like the books are telegraphing it. Most of Song Yadong's fights have gone to the cards. And I think O'Malley is not going to be willing to get in that firefight that Song Yadong wants to. So I think this fight's going to be kind of boring. I think O'Malley wins it by decision. I think that's the best way of approaching it with plus money. So I like Sean O'Malley by decision here on Saturday night. So I like Hokett in a Butler moneyline parlay. I like the over for Paddy Pimlet and Justin Gaethje. I hope Gaethje wins the fight. Gaethje is pissed off. Gaethje has brought an anger to Vegas that is kind of unlike him. Gaethje is not a guy that normally is. He feels disrespected, and I don't really know why. He popped off at the media conference, at the Apex press conference with just the media. He brought up the fact that he was not making any more money from the Paramount Plus contract, even though Dana White had said that fighter pay was basically going to double. that Dana had to come out and say that Gaethje turned down money and that Gaethje was the reason why. And then right at the start of the press conference yesterday, Justin Gaethje was asked by the media about his contract status with the UFC and the money he'd be making for the fight. And he quickly said, I am here to talk about fighting. Like, he shut that down real quick because his boss was literally 5 feet standing at the podium with a mic in front of his face in Dana White. So I think there's some stuff going on here with Justin Gaethje, and I don't know if that helps him or hurts him, but he's in a different mental space than what we normally see. Gaethje normally is a pretty likable character and a pretty, he's kind of like he's got a more lighter personality. When he fought Conor McGregor or when he fought other guys, not Conor, which fight am I thinking of? Which fight am I thinking of? Hold on. I got to remember which fight am I thinking about for Gaethje, where he was so fun to listen to. The Max Holloway fight for the BMF belt. He was, the Poirier fight. That's what I'm thinking of. When he beat Poirier, like, he was just in their second fight that was in Salt Lake City. He was just, Poirier was the guy who was pissed off, right? Poirier. I mean, he's fought. Justin Gaethje's resume is stupid. Like, who he has fought is crazy. Dustin Poirier twice, Donald Cerrone, Tony Ferguson, Max Holloway, Rafael Fiziev, Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, Habib. I mean, like, he didn't fight Conor, but the everybody that you would want to fight other than Conor McGregor, it's the only guy in this division that he hasn't fought. In the best of the best for Justin Gaethje. So I don't know what to make of Gaethje's, where he is now. I don't know where he is mentally. So maybe he gets in there and he's pissed off, angry, and really mad and starts just throwing bombs. But I don't, unless he gets like a first round KO, which would be very surprising to see Paddy Pimblett get knocked out in the first round. I think this fight does go over 2.5 rounds. And I think that's the best way to bet this fight coming up on Saturday night in Vegas. Should be a ton of fun. Favorite thing about today. The favorite thing about today is that I've been waiting to get to this day. I've been waiting to get to Friday for a while because this is the start of what will be an absolute 2-week sprint for me. And for you guys who are used to the routine of BVB, you're going to have to just bear with me a little bit as to how this is all going to go, because it's going to be Looney Tunes. We've got tonight, as I said before, I'm filling in on Sports Grid for a couple of hours later on tonight from 6 to 8 Eastern time. Haven't done that in a while. We've got UFC 324 tomorrow here in Vegas. I'm going to that. I have an event with my daughter before I head on over there. And then on Sunday, we have the AFC and NFC Championship games with 2 back-to-back bangers of football games to Sunday. We go Monday for a full recap. Tuesday is a lot of fun. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as I mentioned before, we're going to have different types of shows on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because I am traveling to New Orleans on Wednesday morning. There will be video on demand episodes of BVB. We're going to do 1-hour shows for BVB, some new content, some old content, but it'll be a 1-hour show that will drop at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So you'll see it. The show will air at its normal time. It won't be a replay per se. It'll be a best of / new content put together for me to go ahead and drop it. But that'll be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as I am in New Orleans. So go and hang on, jump on over. There won't be a live chat per se, but you're going to get a new episode of BVB on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We will be live Monday, Tuesday. Then I come back from that on Saturday and we do the same thing. It's Monday, Tuesday of the week of the Super Bowl. We'll be live here in Vegas. No show on Wednesday in its normal spot. The episode of BVB on Wednesday will be from Radio Row, either on the Discord channel or a different way. Maybe YouTube. I don't know. Depends upon how I get there, how I get set up, how's the internet, all the things that we got to test out. We'll be doing that coming up on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, 10 to 12, 2-hour shows, 2-hour shows from Radio Row. Thursday being brought to you by BetCris Arizona. Friday being brought to you by Cut. Thursday's co-host is Adam Bjorn. Friday's co-host is Sim Harmon. It's going to be a really, really fun run. Stick with us. Stay on the Discord channel. Ask any questions you may have, but we're going to be flying. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to be absolutely flying with how much stuff we're going to bring to you guys as we wrap up the 2025 and 2026 seasons. There'll be announcements. I got a big announcement to make coming up at the Super Bowl. I can't wait to do it. That's going to really be fun for us to do. So a lot of cool things happening over the next couple of weeks. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you for being here. I'll talk to you guys during the Discord channel, thebvbshow.com. And reminder that we do have those hats for the Super Bowl available on our website, on the store. If you guys want to go check them out that Corbin has designed, you can go and shop them right now at thebvbshow.com for these specialized playoff edition, Super Bowl edition BVB hats as we get into the Super Bowl after this coming weekend. It should be a ton of fun. Enjoy it. Talk to you Monday to recap it all for a new episode of the Bostonian versus the Book.